So the hip hop group that I chose to look at was Beastie Boys because they were my favorite group growing up, so I had to talk about them. So one of the ways that I specifically found that they helped marginalized communities that I thought was super interesting and I didn't know about until I researched it was through the Tibetan Freedom Concert. So the concert was created to raise awareness of human rights abuses on the Tibetan people, and it eventually became an annual thing and it went international and had a bunch of large music groups, and it was all meant to raise awareness for this really, really good cause against human rights abuses. So I think that that's one way that they definitely directly helped a marginalized community, which I thought that was really amazing. And interestingly, as far as their music style, they started out as a hardcore punk band and then they started experimenting with hip hop, and then they started to commit to that hip hop sound. But knowing that kind of explains why they have that rap rock sound that they do, because they're not traditional hip hop. Like, they have a lot more guitar, drums. It's a lot heavier than a lot of traditional hip hop you'd hear, and it's often described as that rap rock. So the song that I chose to look at actually fits this point really well. It's their song Sabotage. It has that rap rock style, but it's extremely rock like. So it begins with a bass line and then some drums it's pretty hard hitting, and it sounds like a rock song, just a pure rock song in the beginning, more than like a hip hop song at all. But then when the vocals come in, they still have that rap style and they still use that hip hop style of music, but the song sounds like the instrumentals kind of sound like a rock song. Um, their songs all had the elements of kind of angst that both pop or punk and hip hop provided, and so their fans you could probably describe as just as rebellious as they were in both of those aspects. Um, there was this one story of one of the members started wearing a Volkswagen thing, whatever I forgot what they're called, around his neck, and there was like this huge problem of their fans stealing Volkswagen. Um, Again, can't remember what they're called, just because they wanted to be like him. So, that's kind of a good story that tells you what they and their fans are kind of like, that rebellious. A lot of their songs have that rebellion in it, and Sabotage is no exception. It's just kind of a break stuff kind of song and angsty. And then they influenced a lot of famous artists that came after them, like Eminem, Rage Against the Machine, which you can really hear that in because it's that rap rock. Again, Limp Bizkit, same thing, Sublime, and then Blur is just a couple of bands that they influenced. And yeah, that's about Beastie Boys.